Today we're going to be taking a look at all of the new all-in-one devices, and we're going to find out which is the best one for you. How's it going, everybody? This is Andy with Aspen Valley Vapes, and today we're going to be comparing all of the current all-in-one devices on the market. The Kanger NEBOX, the Aspire Plato, the Artery Summa, and the Joyetech eGrip 2. Today we're going to run through the specs of all of these devices, and then we're going to take a look at the pros and cons of each of them and see which one is the best for you. To start it off right away though, if you are looking for an internal battery mod, hands down the winner is the Joyetech eGrip 2 because that is the only one that has an internal battery. All three of these other devices use a replaceable 18650. If you're still curious about which one is best for you, let's start off with the size of these four different mods. The Kanger NEBOX comes in at 22mm by 58mm by 86mm. The Aspire Plato comes in at 50mm by 87.5mm by 100mm. The Artery Summa comes in at 23mm by 56.5mm by 98.5mm, and the Joyetech eGrip 2 comes in at 24mm by 44mm by 99mm. Those dimensions definitely are pretty deceptive because hands down the Joyetech eGrip 2 is the smallest by a good amount out of these four, followed by the Aspire Plato, followed by the Kanger NEBOX, and then the largest of the four is the Artery Summa. Here's just a quick look at all four of these guys, and you can definitely tell the eGrip 2 is the smallest, followed by the Plato, then the NEBOX, and then the Summa. Let's move on to the wattage range of these devices. The Kanger NEBOX is going to cap out at 60 watts, the Aspire Plato is going to cap out at 50 watts, the Artery Summa is going to cap out at 70 watts, and the Joyetech eGrip 2 is going to cap out at 80 watts. So far the eGrip 2 is the smallest, and it also has the highest wattage range out of all these, but it uses an internal battery, so that is something you want to consider. At the end of this video, we're going to weigh the pros and cons to help you make that decision, but for now you can see the eGrip 2 does look very promising. Now for e-liquid capacity. The Kanger NEBOX is going to come in at 10 mils of e-liquid, followed by the Aspire Plato with 4.6 mils with the sub-ohm coil in, but if you have the Aspire Nautilus coil in, it's going to have 5.6 mils of e-liquid capacity. The Artery Summa has a 5 mil e-liquid capacity. It's actually a little bit bigger, but according to their specs it is 5 mils. I've personally found it's more about 5.5, 5.6 in that range there. And the eGrip 2 has a capacity of 2.5 milliliters, and that is when you are using the all-in-one. On the Joyetech eGrip 2 you can use an external tank if you would like, which none of these other mods do have the ability to do. So in that category, Kanger is going to take it by a long shot, coming in at almost double the second place with 10 mils of e-liquid. The Kanger NEBOX, it can just hold a bunch of e-liquid. So let's go on to the airflow. Kanger NEBOX has bottom airflow, not really adjustable. The Aspire Plato has bottom airflow, and it is adjustable, but it sort of sucks. The Artery Summa has top adjustable airflow, and it is fantastic. And the eGrip 2 also has top adjustable airflow when you're using it in the all-in-one style. The Artery Summa and the eGrip 2 definitely win in that category. The Artery Summa is going to nudge out the Joyetech eGrip 2 because I do really enjoy that top airflow on the Artery Summa. So that is going to be my #1 pick in terms of airflow out of all four of these devices. Now let's get on to leaking, and this is my personal experience. I know there's going to be a bunch of comments down below saying either the NEBOX is a leaking machine or they haven't had any leaking problems at all. Me personally, with the NEBOX, I have not really had any leaking issues at all. With the Aspire Plato, as long as the O-rings are nice and tight, I have not had any leaking issues with that as well. The Artery Summa, no leaking issues whatsoever. And the eGrip 2, no leaking issues whatsoever. Now the Artery Summa is going to be the least prone to leakage out of these three devices, just because the way the top airflow is set up. On the NEBOX and the Plato, airflow is on the bottom, and that is what causes all of those leaking issues that a lot of you guys have experienced. On the Artery Summa, the airflow is located up top, so you are not going to have those e-liquid leaking issues on the bottom there. Now let's get on to coil options for all of these guys. On the NEBOX, you have the OCC coils and the SSOCC coils. You can use either one of those. I personally use the OCC coils in my NEBOX. I know a lot of people do like the SOCC coils more, and that is what the NEBOX comes with. But with both of those coil heads, you have the option for the NI200 coil, the 0.5 ohm Kanthal coil, the 1.0 Kanthal coil, the 1.2 ohm Kanthal coil, and the 1.5 ohm Kanthal coil. And on top of that, they do have the newly released Kanger ceramic SSOCC coils, so you can use those as well. So there is a large number of coil options for the NEBOX. The most popular by far, though, are the 0.5 ohm standard Kanthal coils. And I do really enjoy those coils. They're not the best for flavor or vapor production, but they are a good overall coil and they get the job done. Now for the Aspire Plato, you have two sub-ohm coil options. You have the 0.2 ohm coil and the 0.4 ohm coil. And those are the two that are specifically designed for the Aspire Plato when using it in sub-ohm mode. If you are using it in mouth to lung mode, you can use the Aspire Nautilus coils, which come in at 1.8 ohm and 1.6 ohm. And then there is also an NI200 Aspire Nautilus coil. So you do have 3 different Nautilus coils, 2 Plato coils, and you can also use all of the Triton mini coils as well on the Aspire Plato. So you also have a good number of coil options with the Aspire Plato. With the Artery Summa right now, you only have 2 coil options. That's not to say that'll change down the road, but as of right now, that is all you have. And that is the 0.5 ohm Kanthal coil and then the 0.8 ohm SS316 stainless steel coil. Now the eGrip 2 is going to take the cake on the amount of coil options that you have. On the eGrip 2, my personal favorite is the 0.25 ohm stainless steel notch coil. But you have that, and you can also use every single Cubis coil as well, which goes all the way from that 0.25 ohm notch coil all the way up to a 1.5 ohm. If you are a big mouth to lunger, I suggest the dual Clapton 1.2 ohm coil, but there is a large number of coil options in there, including an RBA option for the Cubis that is compatible with the eGrip 2. In this category, you're going to have that eGrip 2 coming in as the winner again. I would say followed by the NEBOX and Plato tied for second, and then the Artery Summa is going to come in last because there's currently only 2 coil options on that Artery Summa. Performance-wise, number 1, hands down, is going to be the Artery Summa. In terms of their pre-built coils and just the overall performance of the mod, it is my favorite out of the 4. It performs great. It might not be the best looking, but the chip inside is very solid, and it's just a great overall mod. It feels sturdy in the hands. It gets the job done and it performs. Tied for second is going to be the eGrip 2 and the Aspire Plato. They both work fantastic as well, but just not quite up to the Artery Summa. They are a little bit below the Artery Summa there. And then in last place, it's going to be the Kanger NEBOX. Not because it's horrible, I just feel it has the most problems performance-wise out of all 4 of these devices. Alright, so those are all of the specs covered and compared between the 4, but this is where it comes down to your personal preference. Say you personally want a large e-liquid capacity. So the Kanger NEBOX has got 10 mils. That is probably going to be the one for you. If you want an internal battery mod, the Joyetech eGrip 2 is going to be for you, obviously, because that is the only one out of these 4 that has an internal battery. I would say if you prefer mouth-to-lung vaping, hands down the Aspire Plato is the best option with the Aspire Nautilus coils installed. Vaping those Aspire Nautilus coils on the Plato for mouth-to-lung users around 10 to 14 watts is an absolute dream, and I would highly suggest it if you are a mouth-to-lung user. I would not recommend the Artery Summa if you are a mouth-to-lung vapor. And really with the NEBOX, you do have the 1.2 ohm and the 1.0 ohm and the 1.5 ohm coils, but I wouldn't really recommend that one either. The eGrip 2 would be my second option for a mouth-to-lung user, but not with the notch coils. I would recommend the 1.2 ohm Clapton coils if you are a mouth-to-lung user and you prefer that eGrip 2. If you are looking for a future-proof mod, the Joyetech eGrip 2 is your best option because Joyetech has been absolutely fantastic with putting out free firmware updates that update your device. No charge at all. You just pop it in, do a quick little update, and you have the latest firmware option. So not only do you have the firmware options on the Joyetech eGrip 2, you also have the ability to use your own tank. With that adapter that comes with the Joyetech eGrip 2, you can put whatever tank you would like up here as long as it fits the minimum resistance of the eGrip 2. With all 3 of the other ones, you are stuck with that style of vaping. You're never going to be able to switch it up unless they release new coil heads, but that's not going to drastically affect the vaping experience. On this, if there's a fantastic new tank or RDTA that comes out, you can pop it on here, no problem at all, because it does have an adapter to allow you to use any 510 tank on here. So the eGrip 2 is going to be the most future-proof out of all of these 4. Now Artery did say that the Summa is firmware upgradable. That's yet to be seen though, so take that with a grain of salt because a lot of companies say that their products are firmware upgradable, but they never release a firmware update for it. So yeah, it's great if it's firmware updatable, but only if you're going to actually release a firmware update. Joyetech, we know they have proven that they're going to release firmware updates both on the RX200 and their eVic VTC line and the Cuboid line. They do release firmware updates and they are pretty constant about them. So on my final conclusion here, if you are a mouth-to-lung vapor, number 1, the Aspire Plato. If you do not like the idea of an external battery, go with the Joyetech eGrip 2. And I would not suggest either of those other 2 for mouth-to-lung vapors. If you prefer direct lung vaping, really the choice is up to you. The Plato's got pretty good direct lung coils, the Summa's got good direct lung coils, the eGrip 2 obviously does too as well with the notch coils, and the NEBOX does as well. So if you're a direct lung vapor, you gotta weigh those other pros and cons. Is e-liquid capacity your thing? Is wattage your thing? Internal battery, external battery? If you are a direct lung vapor, all of these options are fantastic, and it's really just gonna come down to what is the biggest thing you're looking for? Is it the design of the mod? Which one looks the sleekest? In my opinion, that's going to be the eGrip 2. But is that your thing? Do you want internal battery, external battery? Are you looking for the most wattage? If you do, 80 watts with the eGrip 2 is going to be your best bet. If that is not a big deal to you and maybe you prefer e-liquid capacity, it's going to be the Kanger NEBOX with 10 mils of e-liquid capacity. If overall performance is your thing, then it's going to be the Artery Summa, hands down. So just take that into consideration when you are thinking about which one is the best for you. And if you have any questions on any of these 4 mods or anything vaping related in general, please leave a comment below and I'll be happy to help you out. Before we wrap this video up, I do want to say we have a giveaway going on for a Skelly 213 on AspenValleyVapes.com right now. There will be a link popping up on the screen. There will also be one down in the description, and there will also be links to purchase all of these mods because we do carry them on AspenValleyVapes.com as well. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a thumbs up. It would be greatly appreciated, as well as subscribe to the channel. I do frequent product reviews, vaping advocacy, tutorials, all vaping related stuff. So if you did enjoy it, please subscribe to the channel and stay updated. We also do a lot of giveaways on this channel, so be sure to stay tuned. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and vape on.